All right, what's up, everyone? Pep Man Matt Mara here. Welcome to the second ever edition of Friday Night Live, the Friday night talk show for high school football in the Charlotte metro area. And man, I'm telling you, what a night of high school football. I'm trying to get all the scores in. I've got, most of the teams, that have won, in the area tonight. I'm going to talk about, some observations from them winning some big games. Um, but I'm going to get the link out and I'm going to post the link, as I did last week, once again on Twitter and in the comments as well. So I'm going to post it in the comments here. If you're watching this mainly on Facebook, you can see the comments. There's a link that's posted if you want to come on the show and talk about what your team did tonight. If you're a player, you're a coach, you're a fan, your team did some special things tonight. It is an open forum for you to come out and come on the show and just talk about what your team did. And we saw some great performances tonight. I'm just posting this link on Twitter real quick. If you want to come on and join the show. And it is going up right now. So, tonight I want to start off. I see some people coming on. I see some comments. I see Providence football. They had a big win. They're on watching. But I posted on Twitter a few minutes ago about we interviewed Huff star defensive tackle Curtis Neal. I haven't posted it out on social media just yet. I will post it on social media. It'll be on Twitter, on Instagram, and Facebook, his interview that he did with us. But I want to share it here with you guys that are watching on Friday Night Live. First off, you'll get the first look at this interview. He's a very great young man to talk with. And I just want to, let his personality shine for the first time right here on Friday Night Live. So let me get that up real quick, and I'll be right back. I want y'all to enjoy this. So I'm going to get this up and share it with everyone in real time. As soon as my computer will crop. Now, here we go. Curtis Neal.
All right, Charlotte Football Insider here with Big DT. Curtis Neal, big game tonight. Big win over Lake Norman 24-9. Curtis, what was the key in the victory tonight, man?
Man, the key was doing your job. We preach all week. Do your job, play your gap, and make plays when you can, man. That's all we did tonight. Our boys was flying around. We was ready to play. I want to thank the O-line, man. They did a hell of a job, bro. Hell of a job.
Absolutely, man. Now, you guys are 3-0. You've been kind of flying under the radar. Yeah. A lot of guys talking about Vance and Butler. How good is this, Husky team this year?
I'm telling you, we want Vance, we want Creek. Everybody y'all think they good, we washing they. And I'm telling y'all, mark my words. Yeah.
Okay, you're very confident.
Yes, sir.
I can see that.
Confident in all my boys.
Yeah, now you've got a lot of big-time offers, ever since you're a freshman, here at Huff, been doing big things. What's your feeling on, all these schools interested in your service?
Like I said, I tell them every day, I appreciate you for giving me a chance, because I want to give all the undersized D tackles hope, because they all sleep on me because I'm 6'1", but you can't name a 6'6" defensive tackle better than me, so it is what it is.
Those are facts, man. Those are facts, man. So how you gonna keep this thing going, man, up here and keep being undefeated?
Like Coach Jenkins preached, 1-0 every week. We dominate. We dominate in practice and to show up on Fridays. So let's get it.
All right, good deal, man. Once again.
Hey, keying on the scoreboard though. For the one time. Lake Norman was gonna do what? Oh, okay.
All right. Well, that's Curtis Neal. And we said it on the show. You was talking, you back it up, and that's what happened tonight, man. So, once again, congratulations, man.
Appreciate it, man. Nice meeting y'all too. Y'all boys.
All right, so that was our post-game interview with Curtis Neal. Like I said, we will put that up on our social media, here as soon as the show is over, so everyone can enjoy that. But I wanted to give you guys the first look. He's very confident, and he always backs it up on the field. He had a really, really strong game tonight in that game with Lake Norman, and I see our buddy Kyle's posting some scores. Thank you, Kyle. That really helps a lot, man. I appreciate that. But there's a lot of big games. I will talk, first off about, the game me and Brandon were at was Lake Norman and Huff game. Both of those teams were undefeated going into it. And, the biggest thing, that I really came away with here was the Huff defense had a great plan, to slow down the Lake Norman triple option offense. And a big key, there were several big key plays in this game, but the big one was a goal line stand Huff had in the first half. Lake Norman had a key fourth and short round on the goal line. It was practically on like the 2 or 3 yard line. And, Huff came up and rose up with a big stop, turned the ball over. And, that was a big, kind of swinging point in that game. But, Huff moving to 3-0. That's a big win for those guys. But of course, and I'm going to share Kyle's score here. Myers Park. Oh, I'm sorry, Jakia. I'm sorry, she posted that. Myers Park over Butler, 24-21. Our Justin Adams was there, and I know he'll have some, thoughts on that when we get to the weekly show next week. But I tell you, we do a segment on the weekly show called The Slime. And I think everyone needs to get slime this week because there was a clean sweep in the predictions of Butler being predicted to win this game. But, some observations that I got, from people that, I trust that were watching this game, they were very impressed with the Myers Park defensive line. We know that, they have a really strong defensive line over there. Some guys we highlighted in the preseason with Jordan Potroast Tinsley, Jimmy Simpson, Andrew Bookman, our 3 big guys on that defensive line that can help, hold the line and allow, the second and third level players to make plays. We saw some, a couple of highlights from Game of Inches. We have a partnership with them, doing some cool things with them with CMS football. And he posted a couple of highlights where Myers Park was creating some turnovers, on Butler. And, ultimately Myers Park kicked the field goal for the game-winning difference. And I know Justin was tweeting out, that a final kick, I guess, to try to send the game into overtime for Butler was blocked. And, it resulted in, the final score of Myers Park, defeating Butler 24-21. So, with that result, now, obviously, you got some shakeup with, who is, the top teams in the city. You got to put Myers Park above Butler now. And then you're looking at, where do they compare to Olympic and, different things like that. And that's going to be a big discussion we have next week on our weekly show, Football Focus Weekly. But huge win for Myers Park, huge win for Coach Mark Harmon. I'm very happy that, he was able to get that done just on a personal level. He's a really great guy. I've known him for a long time. And, that's a really, great win for that program. And it just shows, going back to even, Coach Chadwick, what he built. And, Coach Harmon is now taken, and maintained, the standard is still there. So, this is a big message, Myers Park sent tonight by defeating a Butler team that, I think is really strong. So, kudos, to Myers Park and, celebrate tonight because you earned it, man. That's a hell of a job. Hell of a job. All right, we got some other scores here. Let's talk about these games. Let's see. Oh, the Shield game. So North Meck defeating Hopewell 20-16. I saw that was a back and forth game, on Twitter, all night long. And then North Meck was able to get a late score based on the Twitter updates that I saw that gave them the lead, and they were able to hold on and, get the Battle Shield back, from Hopewell. That's a big time rivalry between those two schools. And so shout out to Damon McKee, the new North Meck head coach. That's his first ever career win as a head coach. And that's awesome, man. That's a good deal. Like we talked about, North Meck wasn't able to play week 1. So, they played last week, West Charlotte. They played a tough game. They came up short, but they made the improvements this week, and they were able to get a big win for their program to go to 1-1 on the season. So, great job to those guys. Great job for North Meck there. All right, Mallard Creek, they got into the win column this week, defeating West Charlotte 40-12. I'm gonna double check that score. I think West Charlotte might have had a late score there to make that 18, but nonetheless, Mallard Creek and Coach Tinsley with a big win. I went over there on Thursday night for the JV game of the week where their JV defeated Weddington. So their JV's 2-1. Varsity got their first win on the season. So it's a good week, for the Mallard Creek program. And, I talked talk to Coach Tinsley and, talk to those guys over there. And I like we said on the live show earlier this week, I think they're going to be fine. It's a lot of transition. It's, still a lot of talent in that program. There's a lot of pride, in that program too. That was the big message that, I got on, Thursday, just talking, with Coach Tinsley and a couple of their players. And obviously, they were 0-2 and they, played a little angry tonight and, they got on track. So, congratulations to Coach Tinsley getting his first win, as Mallard Creek head coach. Good deal right there. All right. Real quick, looks like we got someone, wanting to come on the show here. His name is Greg. And, let's bring Greg on and see what he's got to say. Oh, well, I think we just lost Greg. Greg, if you want to come on, I don't know if you got nervous, but I don't know if it's a internet connection there, but yeah, come on back on, Greg. And if I see you come back on, you'll be free to join the show. But all right, let's go back to some scores here. Let's see. Now this was a big surprise. A.L. Brown winning in overtime over Cox Mill, 35-28. We saw A.L. Brown go into overtime last week against Central Bears. And we felt like, that was an even matchup going in. But I remember, on the pregame breakdown when we had this game this week, our let me get his name right because I got slimed for not getting his name right. Kenneth McClamrock, said that, he felt like A.L. Brown, was, the clear favorite in this game. But, we always say this on any given Friday night, anything can happen. And, Coach Baker and Cox Mill got something going this week on offense and, took that game into overtime. And that says a lot, for the development of that Cox Mill team. We said in the preseason that team has, got a lot of talent over there. And they just, had to kind of get things right, transition coming in late, learning offense and learning the schemes and things like that nature. So it looks like Cox Mill has made a lot of improvement, in a short period of time. But, once again, kudos to A.L. Brown, for, being able to pull out, an important win for them in the South Piedmont Conference because, J.M. Robinson, another big win for them tonight. They played Harding. I believe that final score was 44-6 or somewhere along those lines. But J.M. Robinson's undefeated at 3-0. And I tell you, they only won one game last year. And, Coach Darius Robinson is in the early running for Coach of the Year because, that's a heck of a job, to come in and, go 3-0, with, pretty much the same players, that were there last year. So shout out to those guys. And it looks like right now, those two, J.M. Robinson and A.L. Brown, may be on a collision course, to be the top two teams in the SBC. And we'll see, whenever they play, who the big dog is in that matchup. So, good stuff, in that game right there. Let's see. We got some Kyle. Go ahead and keep posting those scores, man, because that's helping. And we got a lot of comments, and I'm going to get to your comments here in just a second. Thank you, Damian, for this score right here. Porter Ridge over Independence 21-6. That was a matchup that, I felt like that was a big game for both of those teams in the middle of the Southwestern 4A Conference. I saw Porter Ridge got up to a 14-0 lead in the first quarter. And, with their offense, it's kind of a lot like Lake Norman. They're running that, their version of the triple. It's hard to stop, man. If they got a lead and they're just going to keep running that ball, picking up first downs. It's hard to come back when it's like that. And, Independence, getting 6 points on the board just couldn't get enough to get over the hump and get back in that game. So that's a big win for Porter Ridge right there. 21-6 over Independence to go to 2-1 on the season. Independence falls to 1-2 on the season. Once again, this is Friday Night Live. Pet Man Matt Morrow. Once again, I'll post the link if you want to come on and join the show. I had one earlier, but I think he might have got nervous and jumped off. I just posted the link in the comments if you want to join. I'll go back to Twitter and retweet the link. Once again, if you're just now joining, and you want to come on and join the show and talk about what your team did tonight. If you're a player, you're a coach, you're a fan, and you want to say some words, about your team, feel free to come on and do that. So the numbers look great right now. Thanks to everyone that's watching tonight. If you're watching and you can comment, post your score on the side of the screen, and we'll talk about, the matchup that you guys had. And, I'll give you a brief analysis, of that matchup for sure. Right now, so our Cherie Glenn was at Garinger East Mech, and Cherie, I got your message. I'm gonna send you that, here on Twitter, if you want to check that in just 1 second. So, but there's a big win for East Mech over Garinger. That was a game that got a lot of pub, mainly because we've talked about what's been going on with the Garinger program. Of course, the coach leaving and trying to do all. We kind of talked about the negative side of that, but it shows that those guys came together and they took a lead. They took an early lead in that game. I think it was 6-0. I think it was Trayvon Tinsley had a long run that Cherie highlighted on her Twitter page, and but East Mech was able to come back into it. I think it was Trevion Reed. Cherie did an interview with on her Twitter page at LWS Howard. Make sure you check that out. Did a great job. And East Mech getting their first win in the season, and Garinger, still remaining without a win on the season. So I see Kyle wants to come on. I'm gonna bring him on, and then we'll go back to talking about scores here in just a second. So let's see what Kyle has to say. What's up, man?
Living the dream, baby. Living the dream.
All right, so what you got for us?
I know there's a Charlotte area, but I gotta give a big shout out to East Burke tonight. They had a great win over the Patton Panthers, 37-6, your final in Capital Stadium. They run a similar offense to Lake Norman. They're that wing T type of offense. I can't talk much about their O-line because they did a fantastic job. Shout out to Blaine Fulbright, who set a record for a single game rushing record. I believe he had 291 on the ground tonight. And
wow.
Coach Miner is off to a great start. He's 3-0 at yours home Cavalier Stadium at Burke. Coach Miner, every school he's been at, he's rebuilt. And this is the first time they've been 3-0 since 2009. So gotta give it to Coach Miner. I'm a big fan of his, and I'm a big fan of his is he played under former Morsel coach and Mr. Hal Taps at Western Alamance. So I'm a big fan of his. So good job to East Burke. And like I said, they're like a Morsel community because they're a small community. They're a great football town. And it was just a great experience knowing that East Burke tonight is see them win over Patton tonight. So
good deal. Yeah, Coach Miner's a great guy. I've talked with him before when he was at Fred T. Ford, and I'm glad to see he's doing great things up at East Burke, man. I want to get up there, man, because he does some really unique things. I know he did a thing with the middle schools where he was talking the kind of graduating the program, having them sign the letter of intent. I saw that. That was real cool. So that's a great hire for East Burke, and, he's off to a great start. So, Kyle, thanks for coming on and sharing that with us, man. Good deal. Thanks, bud. All right. So we got some people lined up here. I'm ready to come on the show. I'm going to bring on, the queen, Cherie Glenn. She's going to come on, and I'm presuming she wants to talk about East Mech Garinger. So here we go.
They talking about you, right?
What's up, Cherie?
What up, Matt?
How you doing?
I'm good. It was a nice day. I didn't have to worry about my fingers freezing. It was good weather out there,
Absolutely. So what you got for us?
Watched the East Mech Garinger game, and it started out great. It was fast paced. Garinger scored on the second play of the game, and
nice.
I was like, it's gonna be a great game, and then it just went the other way, and it was all East Mech after that. It was all Corey Hoke. Let me talk to you about Corey Hoke. I don't understand how that team is 0-2 with that quarterback in that backfield, because that boy literally put that team on his back, and he scored all 3 touchdowns for them.
Nice.
And, I mean, he had a game. I was very impressed with him, but he wasn't even my player of the game. It was actually a guy by the name of Trevion Reed, who I interviewed after the game. I mean, that guy he was the punter. He was on defense. He was on offense. I mean, he just did it all. And, kudos to that team. It was a big monkey for them to get off their back. I'm glad they did. I would have liked to have seen Garinger come away with that win. But, shout out to East Meck for doing what they did, because they did a good job.
Absolutely. Good deal. Good deal. So our buddy Mizzle's watching. He wants to talk to you about your top 5 schools in the CMS Best to Last.
All right.
And I'm sure that's about what you said about Butler. We saw Butler went down to Myers Park.
I know.
And yeah.
Well, I mean, and to you, Mizzle, this one is to you. I can only go off what I am currently watching. And at the point that I had made that, and I mean, I still believe that Butler has the potential to be a top 5 school. They obviously, for whatever reason, have some humps to overcome. I don't know what the game was like tonight. But I'm sure that that's something that they will, look into at practice this week, and hopefully, make better for next week. But the way, like I said, and I don't know Porter Ridge's whole backstory, so I don't know how good or bad a team that was. But it was just the way they came out against that team. I'm just like, they are a pretty unstoppable force. Obviously, that was not the case as we saw they went down tonight. But hey, I'm following the season, so my opinion is probably going to change more than the other guys, because they breathe, sleep, eat, and drink football. I'm kind of eating and sleeping football, but I'm not to the point where I have a lot of concrete evidence. So I'm literally going off every week what's going on. So try not to be too hard on me. I'm gonna get it together. But like I said, Butler is still, to me, I think they're still up there.
Absolutely. So he says don't beat him up. He's just joking, and you're the queen.
Well, I'm the queen. I'm always going to be the queen. Nobody's going to change that opinion.
All right. Well, I appreciate you taking some time out and sharing that stuff with us. Try to get a little bit of rest.
Okay.
All right. All right, so that was our queen, Cherie Glenn, talking about East Meck Garinger. Make sure you check out that interview with Trevion Reed on her Twitter at LWOS Howard. I think I already retweeted that, so you can check it out if you go to Petman704 on Twitter as well. All right, we got another person ready to come on. Jeff Taylor looks like he wants to talk about Providence football, so let's bring him on the show. All right, how we doing, Jeff?
Good, man. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah, you sound good, man. You sound good.
Hey, I'm just so proud of Prov football, man. They kind of fly under the radar, but tonight, South Met kind of came out and went toe-to-toe with them the first half. 14-6 at half, but Providence took over second half, got a couple turnovers, and Jamar Price, let me tell you what.
Yeah.
He might be the best running back. I'm a little biased, but he might be the best running back in the area. I think he had 3 touchdowns tonight, well over yards, and Coach Ward is building something special there, man. That defense flies to the football. They are fast. They're not big, but man, they lay the wood, and they're building something special there. So it was just a fun game to watch, and South Met, give them credit. They came out and it was tight there, but then they just took over. The offense took over a little bit and played some ball. And the cool part about the offensive line is you got Connor Drake, who is a sophomore, who's already getting Division I, looks. Jalen Brooks, all kinds of things. And here's the interesting part: 3 of those 5 offensive linemen are all sophomores.
Wow!
And that's over 1,300 pounds. I think. Okay. It's crazy. So, kudos to them, man. They play some ball, and I'm just so happy to get on here and talk to somebody like yourself. I love listening to your show. But let me tell you what, 3-0. And here's the deal: they got Central Cabarrus this coming Friday night away game. They got Harding, but they finished with Olympic and Audrey Kell.
Big time games.
Yeah,
Big time games.
You know, to host Olympic and then go on the road to Audrey Kell, it'll be a little interesting. But you know what? It's a good football team, man. Good young men, and people better watch them.
Yeah, I mean, I think Providence is. I think in the general public side, a team that's flying under the radar. I would say right now.
Absolutely.
But you know, we talked to Coach Ward in the preseason, and you know, he came in and got the job late last year, or late in the process last year.
Right.
And now he's had time to, you know, kind of implement, you know, what he wants to do on both sides of the football, and you know, they're off to a great start, man. I mean, that, you know, that's awesome. It's awesome. There's a lot of good kids over there.
And the kids buy into it. Their mantra is on the bus. You're either on the bus or you're not on the bus. It's their deal. And 704 on the bus. And it's just it's a good group of kids. So you know what? But you know, it's just cool to be, hey, Friday night football. Can you get any better than just being at a home game and just watching the kids play? And kudos to everybody at CMS. I know it's been a just, you know, kind of, you can make people happy, not happy, and stuff like that. But the fact we got football and people are playing, it's awesome. So God bless what you do, man. I love listening to you after the show. And Pro Football, watch out. But they're gonna make some noise.
All right, there it is. And you know, I appreciate your support, Jeff. And you know, I agree with what you're saying, man. They're definitely gonna be a team to watch coming down the stretch.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks for coming on, man.
You got it, partner.
All right, bud. All right, so that was Jeff Taylor talking about Providence football. Appreciate him coming on tonight and you know, sharing those great words, you know, about that program over there. I got a lot of comments. I got some more scores that, you know, people want us to talk about. People want respect, and I think a lot of teams have, you know, we're starting to earn that respect, man. I'm trying to get this lined up. Let's talk about Vance. Vance 42-14 over Morrisville. You know, that I think that was pretty much, you know, what, you know, most of us expected in that game. Kind of a, you know, Vance kind of steadily had a 2 to 3 touchdown lead and then kind of finish it off by winning by 28. You know, they followed up, you know, that big win last week over Hopewell with another strong, you know, performance at home this week. This was their home opener. Shout out to Coach Lash and that Vance social media team. I mean, I don't know if you guys have all seen what they do, but when they do their little uniform combination, this comes on like you're playing a game of EA Sports college football, and they go through the selections and, you know, put it up with the kids and all that. I mean, what an amazing, you know, thing they do over there, man. But, you know, clearly right now, Vance is the number one team in the city. You know, you can't really deny that based on their, you know, dominant performances so far. It'll be interesting to see, you know, as the season goes along. Right now, you look at the IMEC, you got Vance and Huff, you know, at the top of that thing right now. And those guys play the last week of the season. So right now that's shaping up to be a de facto IMEC conference championship game with those two teams on the collision course right now. So with what I saw with Huff earlier tonight, well-coached team, you know, Vance with all their athletes, it's going to be a great, great matchup. And, you know, Markel Riley just sharing this right here. Vance versus Huff will be the game of the year. I mean, that's the way it's looking right now, man. That's the way it's looking right now. We still got, you know, 3 more weeks before we get there. But, you know, I mean, just the way, you know, that's it's a collision course. And, you know, we talked about that game last year between Vance and Huff. That was the game that I believe that set Vance on the course to win the state championship. And I know that's a game that, you know, they will be eager to see Huff again and, you know, eager to kind of correct what happened last year. So, you know, big time game. If it happens and both teams are undefeated, I guarantee you that we're going to be there. That's for sure. All right, let's talk about some more teams. Hickory Ridge over Rocky River, 41-20. You know, I talked to Coach Wilson, you know, after his game tonight, and you know, he was, you know, happy with the way his team played. They're undefeated at 3-0. When you talk about teams flying under the radar, nobody is talking about Hickory Ridge right now in the Southwestern 4A. But we see Myers Park defeating Butler tonight. Guess who Myers Park plays next week? Hickory Ridge at Hickory Ridge. You talking about big games? That right now is probably one of the bigger games of next week's schedule. So we'll be spending a lot of time on Football Focus Weekly breaking down that matchup and seeing how those teams, face each other. Now, there was some preseason talk that Hickory Ridge might be the best team in the Southwestern 4A among some of the high school football experts that were out there. Hickory Ridge, they have a team, especially on offense, they have multiple weapons, with Carey in the backfield, the young Carey, Aaron Carey, the brother of former Hickory Ridge running back Nolan Carey. He's a really, really strong running back. And of course, they got Christian Hamilton, the star wide receiver on the outside, that's getting recruited by all kinds of big time schools. Alex Bentley at the quarterback position. Saban McLaughlin, kind of plays a hybrid running back slot position for those guys. And on defense, Cooper Williams is a guy that stands out on that side of the football. And then they got a big offensive line. Cade Goldman is the biggest name on that offensive line. So Hickory Ridge has a lot of talent on that team. And, it's going to be an interesting matchup with Myers Park. Now, you go back to that Hickory Ridge Myers Park game last year, a whole different set of circumstances. There was some social media stuff that came out about that game that was kind of a motivating factor for Myers Park. But this is a whole different, set of circumstances here, different players, different coaches, especially on the Myers Park side of things. So that's going to be a big game next week if we start to look ahead a little bit. All right, let's take a look at some more scores here. I believe we got Miss Katrina Bowles. Has Olympic earned some respect yet? 46-24. They played Berry tonight, so that's another big win for that Olympic Trojan program. Olympic is 3-0. And, in our poll, my poll, CMS Best of Last, I've got Olympic. I believe I had them at number 3 this past week. So they definitely have my respect. We were there last week when they beat South Meck 28-3. The interesting thing about Olympic is they're winning in different ways. So last week, obviously, the defense had a great performance, only giving up 3 points to South Meck. This week, the offense putting up 46 points in a big victory over Berry. Week 1, it was both really 49-0 over Harding. So Olympic has my respect. Coach Thompson, has done a great job in taking over that program. And Coach Harder's defense coordinator doing some great things. They have my respect for sure. Right now, I've got them in the top of the SOMEC 7. So definitely a lot of respect. Sean Bowles, the quarterback's been doing a great job all season long. Cameron Smith, they kind of are the engine on that offensive side of football. Then defensively, we talked to the defensive end, Kai Russell, last week after the game. Just a grown man coming off the edge. And then Dylan Smoot on the other side. There's a dynamic duo of defensive ends over there. Dylan, I said I wasn't going to mess his name up, and then I did it again. But great job for the Trojans. Them, RGKL, and Providence right now, I think, are the top 3 teams in that SOMEC 7. And we had the gentleman on earlier, just Jeff from Providence. And, you mentioned that they played RGKL and Olympic the last 2 weeks in the SOMEC 7. So it's a 3-team race right now in that conference. And it's going to be real interesting to see if Providence can, challenge RGKL and Olympic, because preseason, those were the top 2 teams in the league. And we had Providence 3rd. So we'll see how close they are, or if they're ready to take a step and overtake, one of those 2 teams. So great job for the Trojans. Marcus Bell sharing Kings Mountain 35, Hunter Huss 0. When y'all out there talking about defense, make sure the Mountaineers are part of the discussion. Oh, I love Kings Mountain's defense. I had Javari Wilson, on an interview with me on Instagram back in the off season, and Javari Rice Wilson, number 5. Marcus, you know who I'm talking about. He's a heck of a player. And then Day Wilson, the linebacker, number 10 is a heck of a player for Kings Mountain. Greg Lloyd does a great job, with that team out there. Heck, they were nip and tugging that great game with Charlotte Catholic last year, the legendary 7 overtime game in the playoffs. My goodness. But I'm glad to see so many of those guys came back to Kings Mountain this spring season. And I know their mission is state championship or bust out there. And, nice shutout against Hunter Huss, who's not a slouch team at all. So kudos to Kings Mountain doing some great things, out there in Cleveland County. All right, I'm going to scroll back up and see what we got. Some more scores here. I know I've probably missed a couple. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Kyle, for this one. Pound Lake Prep. We did an interview with Coach Trotter and those guys. And I know he tweeted me some great stats about his running back having a big game tonight. But them picking up a huge win over Christ the King, 64-12. That Pine Lake Prep offense is really doing some stuff for those guys. And they're undefeated on the season. Now, they're in that conference with Thomas Jefferson, Mountain Island Charter. If anyone's got a score of that game, please post that because I'd love to see who ended up winning that game. That was a huge game, in the 1A ranks and in that, South Piedmont 1A conference. So, but big win for Pine Lake Prep. And shout out to Coach Trotter. He's a great guy. And, Vic Garrido, Austin Shaw, and the running back. I'm sorry, I got to go to Twitter to get his name, but he had a great game. And I'm sure he'll be highlighted on our show in the Players of the Game segment we do every week. Now, Markel Riley sharing this score. Now, when I saw updates coming on this game, I was blown away. Now, I know Chase is better, but this was a barn-burning game. Chase was leading this game at several points from, the updates I was getting. But Shelby pulling that game out 47-41 over Chase. Shelby's storied program out there in Cleveland County, of course. They got some of the most rabid fans. I guess that's the word I'll use to describe them because they are adamant in thinking that, the fans – believing that they can compete with anyone, which, as a fan, you should believe that. But, that was a real surprise. But shout out to Chase, man. The improvement out there obviously is real. But, Shelby, with all their weapons on offense, able to find a way to get it done. And sometimes when you don't have your A game and you're a great team, that's what great teams do. They find a way to win, even when their A game's not on. And, that's what Shelby did tonight. So, you got to credit them for that. But obviously, they have a very, very strong standard over there. And, that's going to be something that I know, Coach Will Banks and those guys are going to drill in, next week on making the adjustments on defense because, it's championship or bust. And, you don't win championships at Shelby, it's a disappointing season. That's where their program is. And you got to respect that. So, great job, but Chase. They put a run on them, and heck, that's a heck of a game right there, man. Sometimes as a coach, you don't want moral victories, but that's a heck of a moral victory for Chase, right there. All right, we got another update here. My buddy Scott Curtis, RGKL wins over West Meck 42-7. And, they got a unique situation. They're going to play 3 games in 8 days. So on Tuesday, RGKL is going to, play Harding. They were scheduled to play earlier this year. And then I believe Saturday, if y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Saturday, RGKL then plays South Meck. But I'm not totally sure on that. But I believe that's the setup. So tonight, then Tuesday, then Saturday is their next games. So we talk about this stuff with COVID, man, and everyone's got to kind of make adjustments, on the run. Olympic, I'm sorry. Thank you, Scott. Now, that's a big game. That's a big game. Oh, man. I'm gonna have to find out. We might have to be at that game because we rejected Olympic and RGK as the top two teams in the SOMEX 7, and they're playing Saturday. And I'm gonna tell you right now, just an instant analysis on that. It's tough from a coaching standpoint to kind of game plan, for that situation, especially in such a big game. And I'll tell you, I was in a situation like this when I coached at Waddell. We played Harding on a Monday, and then we had to come back and play, ironically, Olympic on a Friday. And, we played that game on Monday. We played well, at Waddell. But we had the whole Olympic coaching staff sitting behind us in the stands, charting our stuff, our adjustments and everything. And then when we played Olympic on Friday, we were trying to game plan on, a short week. And, we didn't have many players at Waddell. So, like to Scott's point, they're playing, Olympic Saturday on 3 days rest. So, there's a lot of, factors that go into a situation like that. So I guarantee you on Tuesday, when they play that game at Harding, and, it's not illegal to scout. I mean, that's what you do, as a coach. Your opponent's playing somebody and you don't have a game and you're available, you go scout and you take notes and you look at tendencies. And, I would, bet, my last dollar that, Olympic would have someone there scouting. It may not be, the coaches, it may be someone else or whatever. I mean, that's football. That's what you do in football. So that's a heck of a challenge for RGK. And we're definitely going to talk more about that kind of situation on our live show on Wednesday night. And I guarantee you, I'm going to do my best to be there on Tuesday when they play hard. I'm going to do my best to be there on Saturday when they play Olympic. But big win for RGK over West Meck, 42-7. All right, we got some more area scores coming in. This one was really interesting to me. Monroe, Cuthbertson was undefeated going into tonight, and then Monroe, big win, 39-27 over Cuthbertson. A lot of offensive plays and big-time numbers in that one, for a score like that. Shout out to Monroe. They're now 2-1 on the season. Also, Cuthbertson 2-1 on the season. In that conference, Weddington and Catholic, are, typically the top dogs right there. But, there's a chance, one of those other teams in that conference could get in as a wild card, depending on, how things go in the seeding and things of that nature with the playoffs. So you got to play it out. And that's a big win for Monroe to have a leg up, in that kind of, possible wild card scenario, making the playoffs over Cuthbertson right there. Another score from that conference, Marvin Ridge winning over Parkwood 24-8. Bounce back win for Marvin Ridge. They lost to Monroe last week. So, good for them to get into the win column, on that one. All right. We got Kyle posting all kind of area scores here. But I'll say this, man. Once again, a lot of interesting things happening tonight. Myers Park getting that big win over Butler. We talked about that earlier. We'll definitely talk about that more on Football Focus Weekly. Once again, if you want to join the show, I'll post a link in the comments. I see a comment right there. I want to put that on the screen here in just a second. But if you want to come on and join the show, you want to talk with us. We had a couple people come on earlier. I thought that was awesome. I'm going to post it. I posted it on the comments here. I'm also going to post it again on Twitter. If you want to come on and talk about what your team did tonight, feel free to click that link. It'll bring you into the studio. Then I'll bring you on and you can talk. I'll be going for another about 10 minutes here. So feel free to do that, and I'll be glad to give you guys some recognition and some shine for, what your team did tonight. It's open to players, fans, coaches, whoever wants to do that. All right. So the Donovan J1 says, might want to change your rankings, bud. So what should I change about the rankings? I mean, the rankings change every week. So I need a little more information there. In the CMS best of last, I will share last week. Let me go to my notes here because I got that ready. So what we had Vance 1, Butler 2. He may be a Myers Park guy because Myers Park beat Butler. So here's, what I'll say. We had Vance number 1, Butler number 2, Olympic number 3, Myers Park 4, and Huff was number 5 in our CMS best of last, which is the ranking of all the Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools 1 through 19. So obviously Butler's going to move down because Myers Park beat them. Now, here's the question. We put Myers Park above Olympic. What do y'all think? Tell me. I think that's a very strong win for Myers Park. Right now, I would put them at number 2. I would probably keep Olympic at number 3. I'm not going to drop Butler that far. But now you get into a conversation, Butler and Huff. Where did we rank, those guys? Is Huff, better than Butler based on their win over Lake Norman tonight? Now, we don't rank Lake Norman in the CMS best of last, but we know they're a good team. So, then you getting the, that kind of discussion, But obviously, I think top 5 teams, Vance, Myers Park, Olympic, Huff, Butler are definitely top 5. You got an RG Kill in that conversation there. You got Providence now in that conversation there because those teams are undefeated. So you're looking at, 6 or 7, clearly strong teams right there in the CMS best of last, and how all that shakes out. We don't know. Outside of Vance, I think solidly being the number 1 team, in probably any kind of overall ranking you can measure, in my opinion. Okay. All right. So, my guess was right. I see his comment now. Hey, just don't sleep on Myers Park. That's all. Okay. Well, trust me, no one is sleeping on Myers Park anymore with that great victory they had tonight over Butler. And the thing about it is, when you saw so much change kind of happen, you got new players coming in the new positions, and the late coaching change with Coach Chadwick leaving and then Coach Harmon coming in. Sometimes people just aren't sure how that it's going to be a reaction to that change, because we've seen some changes work out well, like at Myers Park, and then some changes happen that are still taking a little bit longer to transition and get better. So it's a tough deal, but I'm very happy once again, for Coach Harmon and those guys. Like I said, I've known him for a long time. He's a great guy. He's been in the program. That's what you love to see, guys that have been in the program continuing the success that was previously had under Coach Chadwick. So, kudos, to those guys once again, man. Heck of a win. Really, really happy for those guys. All right. And then we get on down, just continuing to look at the rankings. You get to the 1-loss teams. We don't have many of those. We got undefeated teams, and we've got, we start getting into teams that have, multiple losses. So North Meck is a 1-1. But, you look at, some of the other teams here, Barry's at 1-2 now. West Shaw's at 1-2. Independence is at 1-2. So there's a clear delineation between, those top, teams that we just mentioned, the top 7 teams. In my opinion, you got Vance, Butler, Olympic, Myers Park, Huff, RGKL, and Providence. Whatever order you want to put that in, that's clearly those are the top 7 teams here in CMS. And then you can kind of debate where you want to put the others. I mean, you got a Mallard Creek, you got Independence, you got Berry, West Charlotte, North Meck. I think you can put that in that conversation. East Meck now with their win over Garinger goes in that conversation. So it's going to be real interesting. There'll definitely be some changes in next week's CMS Best of Last. So definitely stay tuned for that. And Kyle, thank you for getting this score, man. Wow. Thomas Jefferson defeating Mountain Island Charter 25-21, and what looks like it was a great game up at Mountain Island Charter. I know that was a huge, huge game. in that conference. We talked about it, on the weekly show earlier this week. Man, what a great win for Thomas Jefferson. If you guys don't know about Thomas Jefferson, they only have 300 kids in that school, and to have a program that special with that small school population, I mean, their most notable player is Dakota Twitty, the 4-star receiver who's got offers from everyone in the world. But Isaiah McMullen's at running back, and he also plays some defense, is a very special player for those guys as well. And, that's a big win because, Mountain Island Charter is, loaded with talent. And, kudos to Thomas Jefferson for pulling that out. Big one. I know my boy, Coach Robert Washington, Mountain Island Charter is going to be chomping at the bit to try to, get in and, figure out, how he can, work on improving his team, because that's, 2 really close losses they've had. The first game of the season, the East Gas, they lost by 1, where they had 6 starters out with basketball, still was in the playoffs. And then this one right here to Thomas Jefferson. You start looking at playoff seeding. Now, the East Lincoln game was not a conference game, so that won't hurt them in the conference. But now you're starting to look at a Mountain Island Charter Pine Lake Prep matchup coming up in a couple weeks. You almost look at that as a loser leave town match, because, the team that loses that game may be sitting at home for the playoffs, given the way the playoff seedings are working this year. Try to be top 2 in the league. So that'll be a big game. We look at it a couple weeks there. So, hey, big game, big win for Thomas Jefferson. Congratulations to those guys. All right. John Peaks, how about, is that Charlotte Christian you're asking about? I'm not sure. Just let me know who you're asking about, and I'll give you, an opinion, because right now, Charlotte Christian, played in the fall, so they're not playing in the spring right now. I mean, heck of a program. Coach Jason Estep and those guys, they won the private school championship, this fall once again. You almost say that like a broken record, but yeah, that they're not playing right now. Public schools and CMS. Oh, Charlotte Catholic. I'm sorry. Good gracious. What was that score of that Charlotte Catholic game? I think. Did Kyle post that? I'm not sure if Kyle posted it, but by the way, let me tell you, Charlotte Catholic has a freshman tight end. His name escapes me right now, but he's making some big plays. And freshmen, I think, rarely play on varsity over there. But this guy, man, he's going to be, a big time player. I believe Hanson is his last name. I'll have to double check that, but Charlotte Catholic played Sun Valley tonight. Kyle, if you're still on here, can you post that score for me? I'm pretty sure Catholic, won that game because I saw some highlights that they were, doing really well in that matchup. But we got someone that wants to come on. His name is Guy, and we're going to bring him on and see what he wants to talk about. All right, Guy. Oh, well, okay, we lost Guy. Are you guys getting nervous? You want to come on and then you get scared, you don't want to come on. Oh, thank you, Kyle, for posting that score. So Charlotte Catholic won 51-7 over Sun Valley. Obviously, it was really good to see them get the offense going. They were held to 3 points last week against Weddington in that great matchup that was streamed by Spring Season on Twitter. And by the way, if you guys aren't following them, they're doing a great job with streaming these games for free with commentary. The guys doing the commentary are out of Rock Hill. They do, commentary for typically games down there like Northwestern and South Point and those kind of guys. They're doing a great job with this spring season where they, stream the game with the professional commentary and the graphics and all that. Make sure you follow those guys on Twitter and check them out. I believe it's Spring SZN on Twitter, at Spring SZN. So make sure you follow those guys. Check out those free games that stream with commentary. That stuff's not cheap to put together. So make sure you go out and support that. So we got about 4 minutes left on the show. Once again, I'm going to play that Curtis Neal interview once again in case you missed it earlier. And then we'll get that out on social media like we always do with our other interviews. We also talked to Huff running back Caden Bell McKeithen and their Huff offensive line. That was pretty cool. I'm excited for you guys to see that as well. But I'm going to play that Curtis Neal interview once again. I thought it was, really, really cool. He's a very confident young man. And then we'll come back. We'll end the show. So here you go.
Charlotte Football Insider here with Big DT. Curtis Neal, big game tonight. Big win over Lake Norman 24-9. Curtis, what was the key in the victory tonight, man?
Man, the key was doing your job. We all week. Do your job, play your gap, and make plays when you can, man. That's all we did tonight. Our boys was flying around. We was ready to play. I want to thank the O-line, man. They did a hell of a job, bro. Hell of a job.
Absolutely, man. Now, you guys are 3-0. You've been kind of flying under the radar. A lot of guys talking about Vance and Butler. How good is this, Husky team this year?
I'm telling you, we want Vance, we want Creek. Everybody y'all think they good, we washing they. And I'm telling y'all, mark my words. Yeah.
Okay, you're very confident.
Yes, sir.
I can see that.
Confident in all my boys.
Yeah, now you've got a lot of big-time offers, ever since you're a freshman, here at Huff, been doing big things. What's your feeling on, all these schools interested in your service?
Like I said, I tell them every day, I appreciate you for giving me a chance, because I want to give all the undersized D tackles hope, because they all sleep on me because I'm 6'1", but you can't name a 6'6" defensive tackle better than me, so it is what it is.
Those are facts, man. Those are facts, man. So how you gonna keep this thing going, man, up here and just keep being undefeated?
Like Coach Jenkins preached, 1-0 every week. We dominate in practice and to show up on Friday. So let's get it.
All right, good deal, man. Once again.
Hey, Ken on the scoreboard though. For the one time. Lake Norman was gonna do what? Oh, okay.
All right. Well, that's Curtis Neal. And we said it on the show. You just talk and you back it up. And that's what happened tonight, man. So,
yes, sir.
Once again, congratulations, man.
Appreciate it, man. Nice meeting y'all too. Y'all boys.
Hey, I just wanted to play that one more time in case somebody might have missed it earlier. That was the second time we played that tonight. Kind of led the show off with it. Real quick, I did want to highlight Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant got a big win to go to 3-0 tonight, 49-0 over Central Academy. They're off to a great start, over there in Cabarrus County. Great job, to those guys. I got Spiritual Man 30, Big Vance Cougars. Yeah, still number one in my poll. Big win over Mooresville, 42-14. So we're going to have some stuff come out, here shortly from our coverage of Huff Lake Norman. That was the game me and Brandon were at tonight. I'll post Curtis's interview we just showed. I also post the interview I just mentioned with Caden Bell McKeithen, the big running back, had 2 touchdowns. Talking with him and the Huff offensive line in that victory. And we'll also have some highlight plays. If you go to our Twitter at Petman704, I have Mookie McWilliams scored the first touchdown to give Huff a 10-0 lead going into halftime. And then we'll get some other plays out there as well. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Petman704, Facebook, Charlotte Football Insiders, Instagram, Charlotte Football Insiders, Football Focus Weekly every Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. I assume if you're watching this, you watch the weekly show too. We have a lot of fun with, myself and the crew. Once again, this is Friday Night Live. We'll do this every Friday night for about an hour, go through the scores, give you guys a chance to come on and talk about your teams and, give us some brief analysis for what we've seen. So Petman Matt Morris signing off. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you on Wednesday night, and we'll see you on social media. Have a good weekend.